Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here for WeAreChange.org. And today the Washington Post has revealed that Facebook has a secret trust score ranging from 0 to 1 for all its users. And folks, I can only tell you, you have to read this piece to believe it. There are some astounding admissions in this thing, and we're going to go over all of them in just a moment. But I want to remind everybody that we only exist through your support, so go visit the t-shirt shop, check out some of these great designs, get a cool We Are Change t-shirt, and support independent media. So we now have Facebook, a social media company, rating us on a 0 to 1 scale without telling us A, what our score is, or B, what the actual criteria for that score is. For instance, in this article, they're saying it's not only your posts, but your activity on other posts, and whether or not you may flag content as quote-unquote fake news. You see, this program came into fruition, according to them, over the last year, about a year ago, when this fake news hysteria hit the mainstream media.
Is Facebook responsible for Donald Trump becoming president of the United States?
Facebook now under fire. Critics say it allowed fake news to spread on the platform, potentially reaching millions of people, creating echo chambers and unfairly influencing the presidential election.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg is defending his company against accusations that phony news stories helped Donald Trump win the presidency. During a conference Thursday, he said the idea that fake news on Facebook influenced the election in any way is a pretty crazy idea.
Zuckerberg now being forced to fend off criticism that the site allows fake news articles about Trump and Clinton to be shared online.
I do think that there is a certain profound lack of empathy in asserting that the only reason why someone could have voted the way they did is because they saw some fake news.
One of my greatest regrets in running the company is that we were slow in identifying the Russian information operations in 2016. We expected them to do a number of more traditional cyber attacks, which we did identify and notify the campaigns that they were trying to hack into them, but we were slow at identifying the type of new information operations. What I think we've learned now across a number of issues, not just data privacy, but also fake news and foreign interference in elections, is that we need to take a more proactive role and a broader view of our responsibility.
And they were already talking about giving a trustworthy score to media outlets on their platform. And now that has reached beyond and into their user base. Now, on top of that, it's also admitted in this article that Twitter itself is now using other people, the people that follow you and you follow, as criteria to decide whether or not your tweets are spread. Now, a lot of people are likening these systems, especially because they cannot be reviewed and you don't know your actual score, to the Chinese social credit score that is now in place with hundreds of millions of their citizens. And folks, this is restricting travel, this is restricting the ability to own property, and even restricting the ability for internet access in some of these cases. It's absolutely astonishing.
By 2020, China plans to give all of its 1.4 billion citizens a personal score based on how they behave. So some people with low scores are already being punished if they want to travel. Nearly 11 million Chinese people can no longer fly, and 4 million are barred from trains. Next week, the program will start expanding nationwide.
The government here says it is trying to purify society by rewarding those who are trustworthy and punishing those who are not. In some of China's largest cities, a high-tech effort is underway to bust low-level offenders. Jaywalkers. Cameras record them going through intersections, zero in on their face, and then publicly shame them on nearby video screens. It's all part of the Chinese government's new social credit system, where people's daily behavior is monitored and rated. I think it's a good thing, this woman said. It makes people more honest. When Leo Hu recently tried to book a flight, he was told he was banned from flying because he's on the list of untrustworthy people. Leo is a journalist who was ordered by a court to apologize for a series of tweets he wrote and was then told his apology was insincere. I can't buy property. My child can't go to private school, he says. You feel you're being controlled by the list all the time.
And although we may not be quite there yet, this has all the earmarks of the same type of thing. Now, one of the largest questions out there is who gets to decide what the truth is? We have liars like Rudy Giuliani saying on television, the truth isn't the truth.
It isn't truth. Truth isn't truth.
And I want to go back to this quote from a 2004 New York Times article. That's not the way the world really works anymore. We're an empire now. And when we act, we create our own reality. And while you're studying that reality, judiciously, as you will, we'll act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out. We're history's actors, and you, all of you, will be left to just study what we do. And of course, they're referring to the media and the people. And when this article was published, it was only published as an upper echelon aide in the Bush administration. However, its author later revealed this was Karl Rove. Those unfamiliar with Rove should know that he spread lies in order to invade Iraq, and currently, he's not only a Fox News pundit, but he has benefited quite lucratively from his past association with the Bush administration.
When Karl Rove announced his resignation from the White House earlier this week, he got some rave reviews. Here's a sample circulating on the internet.
We should be congratulating Karl Rove for a long, successful run. This is a guy who elected a president twice, who's known as one of the most brilliant political activists of our time.
If you've ever talked to him, he's almost like blinders on. He looks right in the eye, and he talks faster than I do. Really fast, right in your face, totally intent on you. And it's really like talking to a fire hydrant.
He's not only the mastermind behind everything, he's the president's senior advisor.
Boy genius, Bush's brain, the architect.
Karl is brilliant, he is funny, and he's a passionate advocate.
Karl Rove is a superstar, he is very insightful, he's a great friend to the president.
There is, of course, more to be said. What struck me about my fellow Texan Karl Rove is that he knew how to win elections as if they were divine interventions. Rove knew in politics to bet on fear and loathing. Never mind that in stroking the basest bigotry of true believers, you coarsen both politics and religion. At the same time he was recruiting an army of the Lord for the born-again Bush, Rove was also shaking down corporations for campaign cash. Crony capitalism became a biblical injunction. Greed and God won 4 elections in a row, twice in the Lone Star State and twice again in the nation at large. But the result has been to leave Texas under the thumb of big money with huge holes ripped in its social contract and the U.S. government in shambles, paralyzed, polarized, and mired in war, debt, and corruption. Rove himself is deeply enmeshed in some of the scandals being investigated as we speak.
On a final note, I would like to say, as technology becomes more and more advanced, and in this country we have employees voluntarily taking microchips in their hand and saying they're quite happy about it.
When we came across this and saw it being used in other societies, we said, why not us? Why not us bring it and provide a solution that we can use for so many different things, not just opening doors, not just self-checkout in our markets, so many other different things.
We live in extremely dangerous times, and now is the time to rise up and not allow a technopoly of oligarch billionaire digital princes decide what we think and what we're allowed to say. As always, if you like this video, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter @JasonBurmis, and folks, be the change you want to see in the world.